good afternoon. Welcome to our first Think Tank Thursday meeting of the year. My name is Liliet, and I am not alone. I'm joined by my fellow colleagues, Dineo and Lebogang, who will be here on the session with me. Welcome each one of you to our first Think Tank Thursday meeting. And remember some ground rules as you join in. Ensure that your microphones are switched off and your videos are also turned off for quality purposes. Thank you to each one of you, both youth and supervisors, for being online with the session. I see most of you already know the drill. You have started introducing yourselves in the chat box, so thank you for all those comments. I will just read a few as we wait for others to join in. So I'll just take it from wherever I see because there's quite a lot of you online for the session. Yamkela Chula from Local IT Guy, welcome Yamkela. Noluthando Valencia Ntobela Samgeliswe Mgunu, Anelem Butso from Dlambula Primary School, welcome everyone from Dlambula Primary School. Yonga Mandaba, welcome Yongama. Yonela Mbuma from City Tires and Auto Repairs, welcome. Good day, Katleho from CIG Sales, welcome Katleho. Refile Navotso from Sfigile Consulting, welcome Refile. If I do butcher your name, please do forgive me. I'm trying my best on my end. Hi everyone, Zintle Pupa here, joining from Red Alert. Thank you, Zintle. Thandega Nyalunga from Global Teachers Institute, Mbombela. Thank you. I see we have different provinces online. That is amazing. Bongile from Talking Show. Welcome, Bongile. Franz Tabang and Taco from Newtown, Johannesburg. Welcome from Newtown. Bongegile oh no, that is Reading AI. Lerato from Talk In Show. Welcome. Boitumelo Masimula from CTA. Welcome. Princess Zianda Geswa from City Panel Beaters and Auto Repairs. Welcome, welcome, welcome to each one of you. Britannia from Overflow. Nobukanya Ntombela from Isibili Construction. I see we also have different sectors online with us. Sean Musandiwa from Diamond of Africa, Tabsile Ayanda Shabane from Host, Josephine Makanya Primary. Thank you for joining. For those that are still joining, please ensure that your microphone and video is switched off. Abenati Bulana Ntlagani Potokola Noloyise Kakana from Kinetic Wave Solutions. Thank you. Afternoon, Antheline from Teta Nati Counseling Services. Thank you. Hi, I'm Elishem Sita from Imbila PTY Durban. Thank you. Good day, Sinazo Squealy from Umgalelo Products in CPT. Thank you. Our first youth from CPT. Welcome. Mulifima Sando from CT Panel Beaters and Auto Repairs. Tato Moga from NW Mafi Gang. Thank you from Northwest. Good day, everyone. I'm Kolisile Nkosi from Mulele Atini. So thank you to each one of you for all your comments. I am trying to keep up with each one of you. So we will start with the presentation for the sake of time. For those that are joining, please ensure that your microphone is switched off and your videos are also switched off as well. I see we do have Camilla online with us, and I will just hand it over to Lebogang to introduce our speaker briefly.
Okay, I hope I am audible. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Lebogang. I am a wellness consultant here at Youth at Work. I was just going to briefly introduce our speaker for the day, which is Ms. Camilla Ndhlovu. Before I do so, I just wanted to give a few words to you guys as our starting remarks. Understanding that there is beauty in humble beginnings is the first step to greatness. The uncomfortable feeling of one not getting what you want and being in a place where you understand that you have potential, yet your potential is unused, it then becomes fuel for you that drives you to get to your goals. I'd like to just say hi, Camilla. If you could just so kindly give us a backstory of who you are and just a little bit about yourself, your background, and where you currently are.
Hi everyone. Do I have to turn on my screen?
We would appreciate if you could turn on your video for the introduction.
All right. I don't know if you guys can see me. Yeah, there we
Yes,
go.
we can see.
Hi, good afternoon. I just want to say thank you for this opportunity. My name is Camilla, and I am from Limpopo. I run a company called Oak Farm Trading, which is broiler production company. So my story starts, especially with youth at work, it starts in 2021. But what happened is I grew up thinking I was going to be a neurologist. I remember I was very bad at math at school. I had a very tough upbringing. So I was raped at 13 and I was just about to start my high school, I think, at that time. And so I hated most of my high school years. So it came to a point where I didn't know what I was about to do or what I was going to do after matric. And when I passed my matric, I remember I passed with a diploma and I was so distraught and I hated school. So my mom always said to me, "What are you going to do with your life?" And I didn't know what I was going to do with my life until um, I found my passion, and that's what I'm doing today. I'm in farming. So that's who I am. So when I started farming, I want to talk about my history with farming. It was because, first of all, I was scared of chickens. I was very scared of chickens. I remember a specific day when my grandmother sent me and my cousin to buy a chicken, and I said to her, "I don't want to buy a chicken. I'm scared of it. I'm not going to hold it." But either way, she made sure that we go buy the chicken. We get to the chicken place. The gentleman was kind enough to help us hold it. But on our way back, unfortunately, the chicken moved and I got scared. And when I got scared, I let it out of my hands and unfortunately it died. So from there on, I decided there's no way. There is no way that I was going to do chickens or be around chickens ever in my life. I could eat one, but holding one was a no-no. In 2019, my grandmother passed away. And when my grandmother passed away, my uncle started a chicken business at home. And still, I couldn't get into the chicken house. I was really fascinated. But then I didn't realize that it will be one of the things that makes life more bearable for me. As time went on, I started doing research about chickens. In my area, I stay in Congo as a township, and we have other villages around us. I realized that there were so many young people that were doing primary agriculture. That's when you raise the chickens and then you sell them live. But I wanted to understand, how is it that we can't, as a primary agricultural person, you can't slaughter chickens and sell them straight to the stores because of red tapes and other regulations around food safety. So I started to say, you know what, let me just learn about chickens, let me learn about abattoirs, let me learn about everything that I can learn in this industry so that I can find out what is it that I needed to do. So my first thing was I came across this thing called a mobile abattoir. It's like a container. It's the ship containers that are converted into an abattoir. It was cheaper at that time to have, because it cost just over 1 million, but less than 1.5 million. And for me, I thought to myself, that could be fundable because starting a whole abattoir is a lot of money. Unfortunately, after I had done the business plan, projections, like everything, and knew where I was going to sell my products, it came to me that in Limpopo, we are not commissioned to run those kind of abattoirs. I was also only commissioned for Gauteng, Eastern Cape, and I think the Western Cape at that time. And it was a bummer for me. So what was next? I decided to go on LinkedIn. I was not very familiar with LinkedIn, but I was familiar with the fact that you get people in different professions and organizations that you can interact with. So I took the risk of starting to interact with people that were working in funding agencies, such as your IDCs, your land banks, because I had gone to the commercial banks that couldn't fund me. I went to Land Bank. I remember they had an office in Zanin, but it moved now. And by that time, I was helped by Mr. Smith, Devet Smith. And there was so much that I needed to do. And at this point, I'm not working. I don't want to work. I'm not even sure if I want to do this, but I feel it's my calling to be in farming. So I say to my mother, I need to get land, because that's one of the things that they told me. You need to have land. If you're not buying a new land, you need to have papers for that land. You need to have water. There were so many things. And I was very excited that I didn't even do my research properly. So in 2021, I think it was in 2021, those school assistant things came up, and I got a job at one of the schools here. I thought with that money, that's going to help me to buy a piece of land. So I think a month in, my mom showed me the post for the youth at work, I think opportunity that was in Tibumbeni College. So I applied for that post, and I got in. So I started being part of the youth at work program. I stayed there for a year. But the one part about my favorite thing about that session, or that part of my life, those 12 months, was I was under a program called EQ'd. And part of it was that we did project-based learning with schools. So we train teachers and also help the learners in whatever they needed to do, especially with project-based learning. But what they wanted to focus on is that they wanted to give each and every child an experience, or the knowledge to know that you have choices. You can either be an academic, you could be an entrepreneur, you could do anything that you want to do in this world. And then, so for me, I took that as, okay, maybe this business thing is not such a bad thing. I mean, I hate waking up at 8 so that I can be called to work. So what kind of difference can I make in this life? Maybe I can do this farming thing. But even before that, I was running a few NGOs for myself with my best friend, Michelle. And I thought to myself, this would be a great opportunity to do that. So what happened is, immediately after I got the job, 12 months after that, I decided to say, you know what, let me start this farming thing, getting serious on funding. And that's where my challenges began with funding. So I convinced my mother. We bought the land in Pujana village. We bought it. I think it was 2 hectares. And then just when I was happy to say, oh, I got the farm, we experienced small problems. The first problem that I encountered was the property itself was not conducive for what I wanted to do. I learned about EIAs, which at that point were costing me around 50,000, 70 upwards, depending on the size of the land. And I knew my mom didn't have that, because at that time she was still supporting me and my brother. And then I went on to say, okay, fine, what's my next best thing? I went on to Property 24. I remember on Facebook, I got a land in Palaburu, not far away from Zanin. And unfortunately, the gentleman that was selling the property didn't want to give me my his financials, because when you do your funding, you cannot, if you're buying a business, especially if you're acquiring a business, you have to have the financials of the business that you can show profitability, sustainability of the business, and that even if you plan to expand it, you know that you're not putting your money into an endless pit. So unfortunately, that came to a halt. So my funding challenges just became more and more. Went back to LinkedIn. I discovered a man by the name of, I'm so sorry, he's gonna have to forgive me because I forget his name, but Mr. Durembe. So Mr. Durembe said to me, you know what, Camilla, I understand what you want to do. I sent him all the properties that I thought I could buy in Zanin that would be conducive for what I wanted to do. And then he said to me, the banks are very tedious. Their processes are tedious. So I'll advise you to find a property that's already working. I'm talking about it must have the infrastructure, the water must be good, the EIAs must be on set, because that will enable you to not have or to owe the bank a lot of money, or for them to say you don't have repayment ability. And I started doing that. I remember I would walk 30 km looking for a farm, like on foot. I was always on the road. Unfortunately, it took me another 2 years before I could get the farm that I wanted. Last in 2023, it was May, it was a Friday. I'll never forget. I was sitting at home and my mother's house and I was crying and I said to God, I really want to do this thing. I don't see myself looking for a job. There's no one that's going to give me leave every week to go search for a farm or do any kind of work for myself. So, and I know that this is what I need to do. So why can't I have this property? Why is it hard for me to find it? And I remember sitting and listening to myself and hearing a voice just say, you know what, just call the people you started with 4 years ago. And then I called Venita, she's my real estate agent, and she said to me, you know what, Camilla, I have the perfect farm for you. I have the perfect farm for you, and it has a contract with the abattoir, the biggest abattoir in Zanin. And the lady's selling. Would you be interested in buying that one? That time I don't have money. I don't have money. I don't have anything. I'm still crossing my fingers to say, you know what, Land Bank will fund this property. At that point, she had sent me two different properties. Both will have the same contract with this abattoir, and I chose the specific one. And I went to view it. The day that I went to view that property was the greatest day of my life. I remember stepping into there, and I came from a child or a girl that just knows how to raise 100 to 300 chickens, and then walking into a chicken house that has around 40,000 birds. So I get in there and I meet the seller, and she hugs me and we cry together. And I say, this is home. And as much as I was excited then, I didn't understand the challenges that were still going to come with the funding. First of all, I didn't even understand the paperwork that goes into getting a property like that. At that time, the property was selling at around 8.2 million. And I called the bank and I said, I have the perfect farm. I have all the documents that you needed. And by the way, the seller at that time was also trying to expand, but then she was old and she didn't have a successor. So it made no sense for her to just get this expansion plan with no successor, because that's some of the things that you have to plan, especially if you're old and the banks want to know if you die, who will take on your legacy. So we called the bank. I asked this lady, I said, listen, please give me a chance. I know you had your own share of problems with the bank, with IDC and Land Bank as well. So can you just give me a chance to do it? And she did. It took over 18 months to get it done. So first things first, what I did do is I committed myself to say, I'll work on the farm. Yeah, you can continue to the next slide. Thank you. I said, I'll work on the farm. Next, thank you. The next one, please. Good. So the first thing that I did is said, I'll work on the farm for free while applying for funding, because I knew that I didn't have an experience to run a commercial farm, first of all, but I wanted to. Secondly, it was for me to understand, do I really want this thing? Or is it just one of those big dreams where you think you're going to be making money and it's sustainable? What is it? The first thing that I did after we started the application, I took my best friend, Michelle, who's been with me from day one, and we went to KZNPI. I wanted to make sure that we understood where we are in the value chain, because when it comes to the chicken industry, you have from breeding to hatchery to us as the broilers to the abattoir, and as far as the end user, which are the people that buy chickens from wherever that you buy it and you eat it. So if I was going to be a grower for this specific abattoir, it was important for me to understand my importance in the value chain as a grower. So it took time. And it was very frustrating because we had so much back and forth with the banks. It was either I had a negative payment repayment ability. There was a shortage. Sorry? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. So it was either the repayment ability, and they didn't want to tell me how much I was owing, or how much of money that I needed. And I think at that time they said 2 million. And I knew there's no way that I had 2 million in my account. There's no one that was going to give me 2 million in my account. So I had to come up with a plan. So one of the things that I did is I went to the Department of Agriculture and I asked them to say, you know what, I have this funding and it needs extra money for this thing, which they did come in for me or through for me at the end, and I'll explain about that. But another thing is, if you are going into a contract with an abattoir, they don't know you, they don't know if you have the experience. So, and as I explained, the seller had already been trying to sell the farm or other expand. So at that point, we couldn't reveal who I was or if we were really selling until we got the approval. And that took almost 2 years for us to be approved. So when we got approved, we then went to the company and said, "This is the new. He's the buyer, the one who owns the farm now, and she's coming with an expansion. So I have to build other extra chicken houses." So it was one of the most stressful day of my life because I don't know these people. I've been excited to meet them, but they also don't know me, so I didn't know how the reception was gonna be. So what happened is on that specific day, we went to the meeting and the seller explains how we got to that point. And the CEO says to me, you know what, this is a great story and all, but which bus did you follow from? Also, I also have other chicken houses that I'm building, and I think around 15 at that point. So I don't know if I have space for you. So this meant two things. If they couldn't take me in, even though I bought the property, it meant I'm losing my whole funding. Because my projections were based on the new extra houses that I had to build. And if that meant that is the end of it, that means I have to go back to teaching. I don't want to be a teacher. No offense to people in education. I love it, but I knew that as much as I was qualifying to be a teacher, I couldn't do that for the rest of my life. So luckily they accepted me. They gave me my contracts and the whole thing started. So still fighting with the banks who went on, but what I know is at the end of the day, there were two things that would always push me. My father always said to me, you're a very stubborn person, but if you can use your stubbornness in a good way, then you would win. What I know about this journey that I've been through is resilience is one of the most things that you need. Whether you like it or not, there's always going to be obstacles. So for me, I had to come up with a plan when I said, how will my farm be operational? I'm only 29 years old. This is a commercial thing that I've never done before, probably the youngest at the abattoir. So what do I do? And it took me 6 years to get to this point. I always say to my friend, delay is not denial. It may take long. It might take even the things that we thought would take, or even beyond that. But what I've seen God work in my life, because from the initial plan that I had, I was just going to do 15,000 chickens. But now I have an opportunity to do 140,000 chickens. When there were delays in the funding, I didn't keep quiet or complain or do nothing. I escalated my matters. I made sure that each and every week, each and every day, I follow up because I knew that I qualified for this. But also, when we're working with the government, there's so many things. The systems are slow. I'm not making money. These people are making money. So I had to fight for myself. But in everything, I thank God that things took long. And I'm saying this because I realized the magnitude of the project that I have now. And if I had gotten it earlier, it would have found me in a very different position where my mindset wouldn't be where it is now. So it helped me to grow emotionally, physically, mentally, even knowledge and wisdom to say, this is the kind of place that I need to be, and this is the kind of person that I needed to be. So being persistent and resilient made sure that I don't only get what I want, but I am prepared personally and as an individual to be in those kind of spaces. Because to go from having no income to running a multi-million rent company is insane. You need to make sure that your head is in the right space, and that's how I got here. So that's my story.
Camilla, first of all, thank you for the inspirational story. You just prompted a lot of us, and I'm sure many of the youth who are in this chat right now are quite inspired. There's a couple of questions from us, and then we'll open up the platform for the youth to then ask questions as well. My first question would be then, if people are interested in doing starting a business and upscaling it, where should they first start in terms of sorting out funding?
I think if you're trying to start anything, it depends on the revenue, right? If you are trying to start anything between 1 rand and 50,000, definitely NYDA. They'll be able to help. Also SIDFA, which was seeded, now it's SIDFA because they merged the companies. I think they will be your second best options. And then definitely Land Bank. I wouldn't recommend IDC if you don't have money, because what they want is you have to pay 50% of whatever that you're asking for. So if you're looking for 4 million, you have to have 2 million to put together with them.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Another question would then refer to the mental health. I mean, you faced a lot of challenges. How then were you able to overcome because it comes with a lot, you know?
It does.
I can imagine. How then were you able to remain unhinged whenever you would find yourself in a position whereby you could feel that I'm about to give up because I've tried and I've tried and I've tried? What kept you stable? What kept you afloat?
Prayer, running, crying, venting, and family. If there's one thing that I'll tell you about this journey, it's very lonely. It's lonely. But if you have people that will support you, you're good to go. I feel like I want to believe that we all have a high entity that we believe in, right? Could be God, people believe in ancestors, everything. But what I'll say is when you have all that together, you can do anything. So for me, it was that I ran a lot. I used to exercise a lot. I'd meditate. My friend Nzako, who's my spiritual guide as well, will always say to me, listen, keep your head right. So if anything, my dad passed away in 2020. But if there's one thing that he kept saying to me, even on his deathbed, he said to me, Camilla, if you want to win in this life, make sure that you win the war in your mind. Because once your mind overcomes you, then you're gone. So for me, it was always saying, I need to make sure that my head is right. I'm in the right places. I still wake up. I do affirmations every morning when I wake up, 15 minutes, and I'll speak things that I want to see, not those that I don't want to see. So that's how I keep my mind afloat, and make sure that the depression and my mental health stays intact, even if it's hard.
Oh, that is so beautiful to hear. You know what? The quote that your father left you with is actually very monumental, and I hope you hold it closely to your heart. Never ever forget it. I know I won't.
Thank you.
I definitely won't. Can we just open up the floor to anyone who would like to ask questions? Please do unmute and ask.
Good day, Camilla.
Hi, how are you?
I just wanted to ask, I'm really inspired by your story, and it's something also that I've also like been looking on into, been dreaming about actually. So, I don't also want it to be one of those dreams whereby you just dream continuously. So, I just wanted to ask a few questions, in the space of housing, first of all.
Yeah.
Your housing, what is your housing made out of? Because I can see it's quite a large number.
Yeah.
So what is your housing? Is it, yeah. I'm just gonna ask it simple. I'm not gonna go into detail
Okay. So
about housing structure.
the housing structure that we use, it's still an solar panels. So we use an environmentally controlled house. So that means everything is automated, right? As you can see with the drinkers and the feeders, the water comes in, the feeders there's always feed in the pens as long as the system is running. So that's the kind of house that we use.
Oh, okay. And then when it comes to your implementation of biosecurity and health management, how do you go about that in getting your vaccinations, like the best suppliers, you'd say, for vaccinations and sanitation, and how do you monitor that?
Yeah, so what with me it's a little bit different from how I used to do it before I got into the contract. So how the contract works is I build the houses, they give me the contract, right? So the people that I supply give everything from A to Z and everything that you need from A to Z to raise the chickens. So I'm talking from vaccines to biosecurity. So we follow the SOPs. When it comes when the time comes for vaccines, we fetch them at the lab, right?
Okay.
So we don't know where they get them. We get everything from the lab, the chick paper, every little thing that you'd need to raise the chickens. Also, because we only have to raise them for 35 to 33 to 35 days. So we only have a month to raise them. So they make sure that they give you each and everything that you need to raise them, even from chicks and feed.
All right. So you first go source out the contracts
Prior.
before actually having the chickens that you actually gonna need. So you just have the infrastructure for growing them.
Yeah. What I say is the contract or the letter of intent doesn't really have to be a contract. It could even be a letter of intent. Is your market. This is you proving to the bank that whatever that you want is bankable. Because also you must understand that. So this chicken house that you see here is a 40,000 capacity house, right? This one is actually a little bit older. We are building 2 extra ones now for 50,000 each, right? So what happens is these houses are very expensive to build. One house costs around 8.9 million. So you won't have that money, right? So what the bank will say is give us a letter or a contract that proves that when we fund you to build these houses, the money will come back. You'll be able to pay us, right? So all you need is this contract. So you go to your abattoir, whatever. It could be anything. Could be, I think RCL now still has, like Rainbow still has contracts. There are few. You can even go to Goldie and stuff. You go there and you ask them, can I become one of your contractors or your growers? They call it contract growing programs, right? So once you get that, it enables you or puts you in a better position to qualify to have these houses. And once you're part of that program, they will give you all those things. I know sometimes in Joburg, I don't know where you are, there are companies that will allow you to buy your own inputs. So the bank would even give you money for those inputs.
Yeah. Okay. For now, thank you for your answers. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. There are a couple of questions that have been stated in the chat box. I can just read one for you. It's from Tato Mugwa. He says, "Good day." I hope it's a he. I'm so sorry if it's not. They say, good day. Are you planning on expanding anytime soon? And are you willing to work with someone? Let's say that person has proper land for farming, but their main focus is not poultry and there's infrastructure for poultry. Are you willing to expand and collaborate with someone who has proper infrastructure?
My first thing would be depends on where it is. If it's in Zanin, yes. If it's outside Zanin, it would be very impossible for me because my contract says I can't do anything that is a conflict of interest to the company that I'm working for or with. So if we were to do it, it will be because it is based here. Am I willing to help people? Definitely. I could help you set up your own thing and training, and also to say go where and where to get this kind of information and training. And maybe when the contracts, I was helped by a very intelligent man called Mr. Kenny Foforan who made sure that my business case was well off. So he's the best agroeconomist that I know that could help. But in terms of expansion, even now I'm expanding into vegetables and stuff, and those are contract growers as well. But in terms of poultry, I can't do anything outside my contract. So if I would do it, I'll still build the chicken houses that I have, but for that abattoir.
Okay, thank you, Camilla. I hope you got that, Tato. There's
Okay, thank
another.
you. I got it.
Oh, there. Thank you. There's a question from Redmi 9A. They said, how many chances to get funded when you have a business plan but have not yet started, or I have to start operating? And does that open up chances to be funded?
Listen, I feel definitely experience is the best teacher. Let's say you want to do chickens. The first place I would say you must go to is KZNPI. They have free courses online. Sometimes they have what you call those things. There are courses that they what you call, they're subsidized. You can go there, you only pay for your transport. You are there for a week, they teach you. Also, when it comes to funding, it's also they will consider to say, how are we giving you a 5 million rand deal if you cannot be able to run it? You know, they want to know if you have the capabilities of running that kind of business. It's like taking a child now who has never experienced grade 1 or grade R. It's a baby, they just got out, and you want to put them in grade 12. It's impossible. They won't learn. So I always say, have a strategy, get yourself that information. If you have to volunteer at places, volunteer. Do something that shows that you are committed into running this business that you say you want to run. Because as an investor, I also wouldn't want to give money to someone that does not know or have any kind of experience in what you are doing. You must understand that also after they find you, they will give you mentorship programs. They will also put people or give you someone that will help you during the process. But also you must also know your story, because you are the one on the farm 24/7.
Okay, thank you, Camilla. I hope you caught that, Redmi. Um, there's another question from Rhea. Rhea says, hey, I have pigs, but I'm struggling with food. Where can I get funding? I'm assuming they mean feed
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
pigs. Yeah.
yeah. I think NYDA, SITFA, and the Department of Agriculture. Yeah.
Diane, I'm not sure if you wanted to say something. There's someone in the chat box who keeps unmuting themselves. I don't know if they wanted to actually ask a question. Diane? Okay, no question. There's another question
Uh,
from Gamva. Is someone saying something?
uh, um,
Okay. There's a question from Gamva. Mkosi Are, what are the tips to start your own eco-friendly farming? How can I start planting?
I think if you're planting, my first thing will be do your land preparations, understand which seasons you need to, or what you're planting and which seasons it thrives in. I was talking to a friend of mine, we are talking about like from March, it's a very good time to plant green beans because you make more money if you harvest before June or winter and then you sell them higher. So most people will tell you it's okay to plant during the season, but what you don't understand is everybody's planting. So you make losses in terms of your price, your selling price. So your cost of sales might be higher than your revenue, what you're getting in. So I would say, depending on what you want to plant, check if your preparation for your ground is durable for whatever that you want to plant, and plant things out of season so that you can make good money out of it. Even if you can plant things in season, find a market that is willing to give your take your products as soon as possible, because let's say things like spinach, people want it fresh. I don't like cabbages. My people know I don't like cabbages because I feel like there's a lot of work that goes into it. But if you have a good spraying program, you can make good money out of it. But the thing is, plant in a time where you know there's more demand than, don't be one of those people that there's more supply but no demand. I think that's where I think you should start. Look at what people need and when they need it, and then plan then.
Thank you, Camilla. There was someone who was asking In the case of your business, what are your targets or clients?
Nice question. I don't have clients in terms of the end user. Oh, well, if I can put it to say the contract that I have is a client. I don't have to do your marketing, your saying, oh my God, I'm selling chickens. And which is for me, it's a blessing because I hate sales. I don't like selling because they know they need to eat and they must eat. So I don't want to convince people to eat. So I thought to myself, it is best for me to have something where I don't have to worry about the end user. So I just grow these babies. When it's time to go, they come and pick them up, whether it's 2 a.m. in the morning or 9 o'clock in the evening or in Monday morning. When they come and pick them up, they go to the abattoir, they slaughter them and do whatever and package them differently, and then they send it to you guys. So I'd never have to worry about my targets.
Second last question says, hi, what is the name of the place in KZN for training?
KZNPI. It's KwaZulu-Natal Poultry Institute.
All right. So there are a couple of people who are asking us to share the recording. It will be posted on our socials. Please do have a look out for that. And then the main question that a lot of people have been asking is, Miss Camilla, where can we follow you?
Wow. Oh, wow. I'm not even a social media person, but I think I have Facebook. It's Camilla Ndhlovu. And then my LinkedIn as well is also Camilla Ndhlovu. Yeah, I might start having pages for the farm soon because we are taking a few interns now from March and stuff. So we'll be posting a lot there.
Thank you so much, Camilla. There's a question that just came through from Dear Selani. I think I might have missed it about 2 minutes ago. Dear Selani says, hey Camilla, I've got 10 hectares. I produce vegetables for my local community, but I've been trying to get funds and I've got a business plan, registered the company, and I've got the PTO as well. I also grow chickens, but without funds, it has been difficult. So what's advice on this one?
Okay, so I think if you're already growing, go to your local supermarkets. It doesn't have to be Spar. I know Spar is very friendly for in terms of community growers. Go to your Spar, your boxes, anywhere where you know they sell vegetables. Ask them to give you a letter of intent. And the letter of intent also, I must stress this out. It must have the quantities that they're willing to buy from you and the price at which they're willing to buy from you and how long it's going to be for and how frequently they're going to buy from you. Once you have those letters, that's you saying to them, there is a market and it's a proper market, because when you're looking at your local people, you can't really get a contract from them, because then what if they don't have money? Then they don't buy. Or what if there's a sale at ShopRite and then they buy a ShopRite and not buy from you? So you need like a constant, proper contract. So just get a letter of intent. I think that's where you start. Go to your Spar, say to them, this is what I'm doing. Go with your products if you have to. Say, this is what I'm doing. Can you please give me a letter of intent, because this is the only one that I want to, this is what I want to do. And I just want to get funding for this. So that by the time you get the funding, then you already know where you're going to sell your products to, because that's where the question is going to come. Yes, you are planting, but who are you selling to? Who's your constant and reliable market?
Thank you so much. There is I don't know. Okay, let me stop assuming. Okay. Ronewa says, I want to know, how is load shedding affecting your business?
Unfortunately, or fortunately, it's not. We have generators. I think in a few months' time we'll also get solar. But yeah, we have generators. We're also gonna be putting our second generator. It is a bit costly on the gas, but the nice part about it is when it comes to diesel, the abattoir that we work with, we can get diesel from them and they just deduct from us if we don't have money. So Hence, I say contract growing is one of the best things because they take care of you and you take care of them, and it's like it's a partnership. So load shedding is not really a problem anymore.
I hope that was clear, Ronewa. We are currently still pushing for people to make sure that they fill in the register within the chat box. There are a couple of people who are still asking whether or not the survey is a register or the survey is a survey. It's a register on its own. But apart from that, there are people who said they came late. If we can just, I know redundancy is not nice, Camilla. I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
but someone just asked if we can draw back. Can you just let us know what was your drive? What what drove you to start your business and the steps you took to make sure that you develop a proper business plan?
So what drove me to do my business is I hate working for people. Sorry. I hate waking up. And also I felt I wanted to make a difference because I've always been a person that gives. So I wanted to say, how can I make sure there's employment in my community and go beyond small scale? Because one of the things I don't like small scale farming. It's not sustainable. I'm all about sustainability and being innovative. So that's what drove me. And one of the things that I did is I did research. I would sleep at 3 a.m. in the morning almost every day doing research, looking for things. That's how I found kids at NPI because I researched about it. Nobody told me about it to say, okay, what can I do? How can I get myself the appropriate training for this? And when it came to my business plan, I I had a very bad experience with NYDA in terms of business plans because they just give you someone and say they must go to this person, they do a business plan for you, but they're not fundable. You need to make sure that your business case is a fundable business case. I think that's one of the things. We can all make business plans. I've made 3 or 4 of my own, but compared to what I submitted, the one that I submitted to land bank is very different. So what I did is when I realized that I have the property that I want, I went to CEDA and I say to them, these are my forms. Can you someone help me? Luckily, one of the ladies there, her name is Maggie, said to me, I have someone that I know can help you, but you have to pay with your own money because the process at CEDA is tedious. So you might have to wait 6 months to get funded for that. And I took a chance. We called the guy, very strict man, love him to bits, but very strict. And he said to me, before I even work with you, show me what you have. I showed him what I had, and he said, fine, we can work. And he stays in Pretoria. So I left Denny, went to Pretoria same day. I met with him the following day, and he drafted my business plan. I think it was just over 50 pages. And he made sure, and he trained me for the whole process from day one till even when it took 18 months. Even this morning I was talking to him. He's been my business advisor till now. So I understood that when it comes, depending on how much you want, you need to be very serious about your business plan. So because of the amount of money that I was applying for, I couldn't take any chances. I've done it before. So when it came to a business plan, I would advise for you to save up or get funding to get a business person or an advisor that has experience in what you're trying to do. Don't just get anyone, because even accountants, especially in farming, our accounting in farming is like different cost accounting. I wasted 8,000 rands going to an accountant to do my projections, and I couldn't even use them because they were wrong. You see, so you really need to make sure that whoever writes the business plan is someone that is qualified and has the experience in whatever field that you want the funding for. I hope I explained that very well.
Yes, you explained it thoroughly. Thank you very much, Camilla. Just quickly before we close off, I would like to quickly just share something on the screen. You had told us about the routine that you do in the morning, which is make sure that you have barking affirmations that you say to yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. It is very
Yeah.
important for one to reaffirm themselves daily so
Yeah.
that a person understands and knows who they are, what they stand for, to envision it. So it made me really happy to hear you say that you actually do affirmations, because some people don't necessarily take them seriously. But how you speak to yourself gives
Ma-
you a vision of who you are. It gives you a map, a roadmap of who you are, where you want to go, and what you are envisioning your life to be.
Yeah.
So if I can just quickly put it up, just a moment. Okay. Yes, I hope it is clear. Okay, I hope everyone can see it. It's quite small, but
Yeah.
I will just be reading it from where I am. And if you guys would like to then take it as just a moment. Okay, unfortunately we can't zoom it from the top but
Yeah.
down. So we're just gonna leave it as is. I hope it's a little bit clear. So to everyone, I'm just going to read you something from the okay. I'm being told to show my face. Uh, Okay, we can't share my face, so it's fine. I'm
Okay.
just going to read a declaration. It is from a book called The World Changes Manifesto. So here we go. It says, "Today I declare I am brave, I am strong and brave, not timid or weak. Today I declare that my past will no longer limit my future, and just because I couldn't achieve something yesterday doesn't mean I won't do it this day. Today, I declare that I'll honor my talents, express my gifts, and reveal my creativity to everyone around me. Today, I declare I'll be loyal to my values, respectful to my mission, and fiercely focused on my dreams. Today, I declare that I am a maker versus a consumer, a giver versus a taker, and a visionary versus a victim. Today, I declare that I will always be a possibilitarian, a part of the solution, never part of the problem. Today, I declare that when I fall, I will certainly rise, and when I'm in doubt, I will persist. Today, I declare that I will cherish my health, feed my mind, and nourish my soul. Today, I declare I am surrounding myself with people who are smarter, faster, stronger, and better than me. So I am uplifted by their models and inspired by their examples. Hello, Camilla.
Hello.
Today, I declare that I set the standard in my work and becoming the icon of my industry and a legend at my craft. Today, I declare that I adore my family, am grateful for my friends, and am an encourager to all those who are blessed to cross my path. Today, I declare that this is my day, my time to grow, excel, laugh, love, win, believe, persevere, and serve, knowing that I am truly the leader of my fate, the owner of my results, and the
Yes.
hero of my destiny.
Ningazwela izihlalo kumele efake iled.
Yes.
I love it.
It is a very inspiring declaration to make. I would recommend that book to anyone. If you are believing in yourself to start something in your life, we ought to find ourselves in spaces where we can even meet people who have done iconic things like yourself. It's quite a privilege, honestly, to be
Thank
able
you.
to speak to you. Your story, I'm sure, has impacted all of us here.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Level. I think on one of my affirmations it says I am the biggest problem I'll ever have, but I'm also the greatest solution I could ever ask for. For me, it's
Wow.
if you can if you can't see it in yourself, nobody can see it for you. Even if you come to me and say, please mentor me, please, if you don't see it, you need to see the complete version of you so that you can be able to start, because it gives you a clear vision of where you're going.
Yes.
My father used to say, God finishes before he starts, and that's how we will all need to live our lives. See the end goal so that you can start it properly. Then if you're not doing the right thing, then you always know how to go back and restart. And it's okay to restart. It's okay to have challenges. It's okay. As long as you're alive, that means there is a chance to become another Camilla, or I don't know. Yeah, but there is a chance. Thank you so much for this.
No, thank you. We really do appreciate it, Camilla. With everyone in the comments, I hope you guys found this session very fruitful. Just a moment. Okay, there are people who are asking for the name of the book. It is called The World Changes Manifesto. The World Changes Manifesto. Okay. Yeah, that was really fruitful, and I am truly, truly grateful for your time, Camilla. We would love to have you here again.
I'd love to come back. I think by the time I come back, I hope I would have bought another farm.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, we believe that is going to happen, truly. Thank you for this very informative session. Thank you, everyone who was able to join, all the youth who have been inspired, all the youth who have been impacted by today's session. Please do continue to like, share, and subscribe to our social media platforms. You guys will then find some of Miss Camilla's information where we are at. Is that okay, Camilla?
Yeah. Okay. I see other people asking for my number. I'd love to give it, but shish. If you guys do text me, please let it be for help. My number is 072 527 2267. So that's 072 527 2267. Camilla Ndhlovu. Please, guys, and no texting after 9. I'm always working, so I just need a little bit of time to rest. And someone asked me to repeat that quotation. It says, I am the biggest problem I'll ever have, and I am the greatest solution I could ever search for.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much, Camilla.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, if everyone can just open up their screens, their cameras, so we can say goodbye as normal.
Oh, you're so cute.
Bye, love you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.